guys to our RAGBRAI in style, just kind of a little PowerPoint webinar about what kind of some things to expect. We'll definitely have a question and answer session. If we get in a situation where it's not convenient to talk and ask a question, you're certainly welcome to type a question, and I will see that and direct it in time to Kyle and or Francisco. So my name is Craig Cooper. I own Bikes to You. We're a small town bike shop here in Iowa. We've been a part of RAGBRAI since 1992. And it's something that we really enjoy. We love to do. It's kind of, I always tell my wife, it's our state fair. It's what we aspire to do and to provide a higher level of customer service. And to that end, I have a couple of great guys that work for me. Francisco Hernandez is a longtime friend, and he's our RAGBRAI and Style director. And Kyle Yeager, who happens to be running our technical side of things tonight, and is here, is our main regular campground charter director. And so you'll see a lot of him as well. You know, obviously, there's a lot of Francisco. There is an assistant that we have, and I'm going to kind of turn this over to Francisco and just go to our second slide. And Francisco, I'll let you kind of begin, and you can introduce and talk away.
All right, thank you, Craig. Well, hello again. My name is Francisco, and this is my second. This is the second time I'm actually assisting Craig with this RAGBRAI in Style, and you know, I just did it the first time, and I got hooked. I think that you guys are going to enjoy it. You're going to have a good time, and anyway, but thank you for joining us today. I want to also thank Kyle for putting the PowerPoint together for us. Thank you very much, Kyle, for that. And so we're just going to go through through a little kind of a overview of what some of the things that we're going to be doing. And if you guys want to ask a question as I am talking, I mean, this doesn't have to be a very formal kind of a webinar. You guys can actually jump in and stop me and ask questions either to me or to Craig or to Kyle. Like I said, Craig, Kyle, and we're going to be working together to make your RAGBRAI unforgettable. So anyway, first of all, I just wanna say that these are some of the topics. What you're seeing today right now is some of the topics that we're going to be covering. We will also talk about some of the things along the way, but this is kind of the main skeleton of the conversation. You know, you already guys received information about how to ship your bike, and I haven't gotten from you like specifics about what are you guys going to be doing, but that's going to be my next projects in the next week or so, to gather all your information about whether you are shipping your bike, you are bringing them with you. I know that some of you guys, I mean, like Mike and Marie Fogarty, are going to be potentially going to be renting some bikes. So anyway, when you guys have an idea what are you going to be doing, whether you're going to be shipping your bikes or I'll appreciate if you can just send us a heads up. As you can see on the PowerPoint, we'd like to have that bike sometime on or before July 19. In that way, that will give us enough time. It will give enough time to the mechanics to put it together there at the shop, get it kind of mechanically sound. And so if you guys can arrange something like that, that's great. If you guys are bringing it with you in your plane or in the car or whatever means of transportation you're going to be using, certainly give me a call, and I'll be happy to kind of fit in some some time for the mechanics and to kind of work on your bikes. We will put together the bicycles at the shop, if I'm not mistaken, and Craig can correct me or Kyle.
Well,
But
actually,
we'll put the device together in Grinnell, and then we will transport them on our own, with our own means to Glenwood. So they should
Francisco,
be ready to go. Yeah.
if they arrive in Grinnell by box, we'll inspect them for damage, but we will leave them in the box and we'll assemble them in Glenwood.
Okay.
And
Okay.
we do have full capabilities to do virtually any kind of service out in Glenwood. I've got myself and two other mechanics, and all of our tools and hardware go on RAGBRAI. So we'll actually, if you ship them in to us, we'll leave them in the box and put them together out in Glenwood. Just thinking that'll be the safest way to go.
Yeah.
The reason we ask that they arrive by Tuesday is that the UPS and Federal Express don't get real excited unless something is lost for 3 days. And so we really, that we'd like to have it arrive a bit sooner. So that's kind of how we do that. I'll just move on to the next slide, Francisco. And
okay. Well, thank you, Craig, for for the information. We appreciate that. So as you guys can let us know as you have made arrangements for your bicycles. Just please just shoot us an email or shoot me an email or to Craig, possibly to me and Craig if possible, so in that way we can be looking out for that. Now, in terms of the shipping your bicycles back home, it kind of will be the same kind of as arrival, but in reverse. So as soon as we arrive in Muscatine, if you guys, if, like some of you are going to be departing right from Muscatine, flying back, so we'll figure something out to kind of work on the spot and put the bicycles together in a box if you brought one with you, or just get it ready for a flight back home. Otherwise, you can just give us the information of your shipping company, or if you're going to use the company that we use, and just give us like a tag, and we'll definitely be sending it back to you in the following days after RAGBRAI. If you have a case with you, we'll also storage it for you until we put it together and it's back.
I was just going to say, they didn't get on that slide is that if you ship your bicycle in, and we will carry the case or the bicycle box throughout the week, so that we have it at the end of the week. You don't have to worry about any of that. That's all taken care of. So.
Hey guys, quick question.
Sure.
This is Mike. And if we bring a bike and you guys aren't putting it together, no issues. Just bringing it with us, and we're going to be flying into Des Moines, so there'll be a pickup there, and you guys can pick up my bike, and then at the end, just transport my bike back to Des Moines, right? No issues?
Absolutely.
Yes, Mark. Yeah. Well, I'll take care of that, Mark. Well, someone will take care of you in that regard. That's what we did last year, and you don't have to worry about anything. You just have to get down here, and we'll make the logistics, the proper logistics arrangements for transporting in and out, your bicycle, whatever you're having with you.
Great, thanks.
And this is Lynn. I am going to ship my bike, and I was going to get a tag from FedEx, and then have my bike shop pack it in the hard case. Except if you've got a shipper that will send it back to Atlanta, can I just have that same shipper send me a tag for the outbound to you guys?
Absolutely. That's probably, Lynn. That's probably the less expensive way to ship your bike home is if you've got already a FedEx number or UPS number where you can generate a pickup label, or just generate a shipping label to give to me. I'll make sure that the UPS or FedEx man gets your bicycle in the first day or two after we're back from RAGBRAI. I'll tell you, my RAGBRAI and Style folks get get their bikes packed first. I'm usually pretty tired by that time, but we get them all out at some point during the next week. But the RAGBRAI style bikes do go out on Monday or Tuesday. So that if you've got a label that we can just affix to it, I'll hand it off to the FedEx guy, and it'll be back to you sooner and cheaper than if we take it to our local total choice shipping.
Okay, all right. So I should get both ends of the shipping then.
Yeah. And you can just email that to us. We can print that. You don't have to physically bring a label, I guess. But,
okay.
I will tell you that I have folks on staff, these two other mechanics and myself, and we will, pack your bicycles as if they were our own bicycles. So I will say this: sometimes you folks have flown with your bicycles enough that you know how it goes in the flying case, the hard case better than I do. But we'll do it with the same care and certainly take direction from you guys if you have a special case that you use. But we'll make sure that on that last day that if you're leaving with your bike, that we get it packed up and it's going with you where you're flying out of too. So we've got both of those things covered.
Great.
Yeah,
thanks.
thank you, Craig. Craig, we appreciate that. So yeah, I think we actually gonna, it sounds like it's gonna be a little, it's gonna be easier than you think. Once the ball starts rolling, once we have the information, we'll definitely be helping you at any moment that as we're gonna be in touch, and so you don't have to worry too much about that.
Francisco, we moved you on to the packing of just some basic items.
Yeah, the packing is kind of a very personal thing. I understand that, but we are gonna be transporting your luggage, and then we suggest, as you saw in my email, we suggest that you guys carry a day pack as well. We'll be taking that with us every day from your hotel to the on-site where you guys are going to end up, you ride for the day. So I'll have your day packs there. The major luggage is going to be at your hotel. And as you saw my email earlier with all the information on hotels, we have 3 hotels in which we are going to spend 2 nights each in each of these hotels. So you guys don't have to be in and out of the hotel every day, like packing and unpacking every single day. At least it will give you a chance to just kind of unpack one day and then have your stuff ready for the next day as well. So I will say it just depends on how much usually what we suggest with the day pack about hold on a second. I think did you move it? This is the day pack.
I did move you. We'll move you back here before. Let's go back to the regular packing.
Yeah. So if you guys, as you can see on the email, this is most of what the people actually brought last time. Like just shorts and jerseys for riding during the day. They also brought some non-riding clothing. Pretty simple. As you know, it's going to be a 7-day of riding, so you're not going to have that much time to be once you get to your hotel and shower, get cleaned up, maybe some type of clothing, comfortable clothing to go and have dinner that evening, and then back to the hotel. So I think the most important thing is to bring your riding clothing and then bring some non-riding clothing, like a set of it, not that many. Certainly your toiletries. You certainly can bring as many bags as you want. That's definitely, there's no concern of that because we'll be carrying them with us in the vehicles. But I think if you can actually use like a comprehensive approach to find the main things that you might need, and that would be probably best. The weight, is 30 pounds or less. That definitely is it's almost like flying. So it's in a bag. You can put as much stuff as you can. But if it doesn't go above the 30 pounds, that'll be great. Now, some of you might want to bring your computers or your tablets. Certainly, we are not going to deter you from doing that. I think it's best not to bring them because we're going to be outdoors most of the time. But certainly, if any of you wants to bring your, something like that, we'll try to keep it secure in the vehicles. But I think it'd be best not to do that. Now, in terms of breakables, I'll take all the breakables with me. I mean, I'm going to be providing you with as much, like drinks and all the other stuff that you want to bring in a breakable. Probably I can actually provide it to you if it is like a power.
You say don't bring your own wine. We'll pack it for you.
Exactly. If it is like something specific, just let me know in advance. But something breakable probably it's almost like flying, like I said before. Just be reasonable about that. But we are, I'm sure that you guys have traveled enough to be able to have a good idea of what you need and what you do not need. So,
Francisco, I want to talk just a little bit about that day trip, the bag or the shower bag. For the folks that are on our RAGBRAI in style, for you guys, we've had a mix of people that have gotten into the overnight town fairly early in the day and want to explore that town, and they don't necessarily want to do it all grungy and sweaty and in their bike clothes. So in the last couple of years, we've had folks that have asked us to be able to bring a day towel so they could catch a quick shower or do a little, just a little, sink bath someplace so that they can hang out in the overnight town. You don't have to bring a day trip bag. We're going to transport you back to the hotel. But if you think you're going to hang out in that overnight town and don't want to do it in your bike clothes, then that's what the day pack bags are for. So I just wanted to make clarification on that, so you didn't think you were showering, in the overnight town and somehow not at the hotel or what have you.
Yeah, that was, last year we had some kind of a very, I'm sure that you guys are serious riders as well, but like Craig mentioned, last year we had some riders who actually, they were just cruising. They were really, definitely to them was just to make the trip. Once they would get to the next town, it was a matter of just going back to the hotel, shower, and then go out for dinner. But as Craig and Kyle and myself suggested, if you guys want to spend some time, an hour exploring after you arrive, and you can explore the festivities and the overnight RAGBRAI town, certainly just bring something comfortable that you might want to change. You wearing your riding clothing. I mean, you certainly can do so, but if you want to be more comfortable. Now, when you get to the place, I will try to have as much information as possible in terms of where the showers are. We'll have, like I said, we'll have, some hors d'oeuvres and drinks and so on and so forth after you arrive, so you have the time to chill as well. But anyway, a light change of clothes will be good, and maybe some sandals or something if you like.
Anybody have any questions about packing?
This is Lynn. I do. Last year, or the past 3 years, we went along with Pork Belly, and they had a midweek laundry service where, so we just brought, how many?
4 sets.
4 sets, and then we handed off our bag of dirty laundry midweek, and then they washed it and brought it back to our tent. Is there going to be anything like that, or any place where we can, along the way, do laundry or anything?
For that on an individual basis for you guys.
Exactly.
We have a small enough group that, and a close enough relationship with the hotels that I'm confident that you guys can do that on an individual basis. Francisco has a assistant, and I suspect a night or two they'll be at the laundromat taking care of things like that for you.
Yes, Lynn. I already, I spoke with the hotels in advance. I met the people in person, the managers of the hotels, and they are gonna be, you know, helping us out to make this enjoyable. So I am sure that if there's a need to do you know, a load of laundry or two here and there, I'll be able to kind of get that contact with the hotel, whether it's going to be at the hotel or whether it's going to be at something in the facility that, you know, around the area where we're going to be staying. You know, once that happens, you know, once we get to meet in person on the first day, like Craig said, our group is not that. I'm not going to be dealing like Kyle and Craig are going to be dealing with 140 people. And so with us, it's going to be more cohesive and more like a, you know, a smaller group. So we'll be able to talk more in detail about that once we are there and meet in person. And so we have room for flexibility and versatility. So we definitely will take care of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You know, as I mentioned earlier on the emails to you guys, I kind of suggested that it would be great if you guys all of you can fly. I mean, the ones who are flying, to fly into Des Moines. We'll definitely have the capacity and the logistics to go and pick you up in Des Moines, take you to Grinnell, or pick you up in Des Moines and depart from Des Moines to Glenwood, where the RAGBRAI starts. And now, at the end of the day, you know, we certainly we'd ride back to Grinnell, but from there, we certainly can take you back to Des Moines. But if I know that, you know, there's two couples who actually are going to be flying to Omaha, and they're going to be departing to Muscatine, I'm also going to be taking care of that transportation. So as long as I know, if you guys have a chance to send me your travel arrangements, it will be best if you guys, if any of you is flying to Des Moines, it would be great to fly in Des Moines instead of going to Omaha and or departing from Muscatine. I'll definitely be able to pick you up in Des Moines, whether it's going to be on Saturday during the day when we are on our way to Glenwood. It will just be a matter to have a contact with you and have your information ahead of time. So please, if you have when you have a chance and you know how are you going to be getting and where, just shoot me an email or call me and we can talk about that.
I'll go ahead and talk about the next one. So this is kind of a generic slide that we brought over from our standard charter, but we will be available for check-in for those of you that are driving in or that we're picking up at the Des Moines airport on Friday until 8 o'clock, and truthfully we're here even later than that. But we put all the bikes on the truck Friday night and early Saturday morning if you're coming through Grinnell. The bags may be left at the bike shop. There's no problem with that. On Saturday, our check-in begins at 6:45 a.m. And like I said, we will leave at 6 a.m. from Grinnell. If there are other folks that we have made special arrangements for, we'll pick according to their itinerary and schedule. If you're driving to Grinnell and need to park a vehicle, we would really like to have you there early so that we can have your vehicle parked by 7:30 a.m. It's not secure parking, but it is at the Grinnell College, which has a security officer that does obviously look at all their parking lots on a regular basis. We've never had a problem. It's small town Iowa. I think if your bike arrives in Grinnell assembled, it will go on the semi-tractor trailer with packing blankets. Some people, if you are doing it that way, you can, if you choose to wrap it in pipe insulation, you won't offend me. We have had very, very little damage to our bikes over the years, considering that we've transported, I don't know, several thousand bicycles back and forth to the start of RAGBRAI and have been, knock on wood, been pretty fortunate without any damaging. I think I'll go ahead and take this next one. I hate to interrupt, but this one I know a little bit about. If you received your RAGBRAI credentials through the Grinnell Bike Club, those will be available out in front of the bike shop both Friday night and on Saturday morning. And for folks that did that and we are meeting through Francisco or other itinerary methods, we will take all of those credentials to the start of RAGBRAI in Glenwood. We will not leave those at home. We take everybody's out there. My wife spent the last 6 hours sorting those and putting them into individual plastic bags. So if you received yours through the Grinnell Bike Club, they are sorted and in our possession as of today. If you come with us, actually you're going to load your bikes on, or load your bags on our passenger vans. So that doesn't really apply, but Sean or Francisco will both be at your service with those passenger vans. With that, I'm gonna just ask if there's anybody has any questions about how they're getting to Glenwood. You can sure ask away. I was just going to say, know that we'll accommodate to the best of our ability any itinerary that you guys have.
Yeah, Lynn and I, this is Mike again, Lynn and I will just send Francisco our itinerary. We're going to be flying into Des Moines, and we'll need to be picked up in Des Moines on Saturday when you guys are on your way to
Excellent. Well,
Glenwood.
Perfect,
So we'll
Mike,
send you an email with the data.
That'd be great, Mike. Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right.
Thank you.
So go ahead, Francisco. I'll let you take on this one.
This is actually the kind of like an overview of what happened last year. But like I said, it's very flexible. It's very versatile during the day, except for the departure in the morning. We are going to be a few miles away from the overnight towns. Therefore, it's good to leave as early as we can. We set up the time to leave at 6 a.m. That's what we actually started gathering people last year. That's what we tried to shoot for at 6 a.m. in the morning. We are going to have a continental breakfast ready when you guys wake up before the departure time from the hotel. And so I'm sorry that I have to say you guys are going to have to wake up early, but I think it works much better that way because you kind of hit the town. We kind of get on the road as early as we can, and then you start rolling from the overnight town with most of the riders as they start trickling out of town. If we're going to spend we're going to be spending a couple nights in a hotel, each night in a hotel. Therefore, we will only have to get there at our bags once and then take them, on the following day. So you won't have to be packing every single day. However, the day that we are scheduled to depart from that hotel, on that morning before departure and during breakfast, if you guys just can bring your luggage down, Sean and I will be taking care of that, putting them on the vans, and we will be transporting them with us to the next hotel. So what we're going to be doing is that Sean or I will be driving one of the vans with your luggage to the next hotel, while one of us will be taking you to the starting line. So we'll be able to coordinate that, with no problem. Along the way, once you start rolling, after we drop you off in the overnight town, your bikes are going to be ready to roll. We're going to be having, on our campground, and so I'm sorry with the ambulance, pretty loud here. So anyway, once you guys depart from the overnight town, we really encourage you to enjoy the festivities in the day, along the route. You guys are going to be amazed. I'm sure that some of you guys have done this before. There's a lot of music and food and things happening. So this is some of the things that, drink plenty of water. We'll have we have a power drinks with us in the morning, before you depart, and through the day, I'll be happy to give you some for you to take along the way. and maybe hopefully Craig will, I mean, as I mentioned before, Craig is going to tell us a little bit about his experience. It's going to be a little bit of a challenging days ahead, and therefore you need to have enough water to drink, some power bars, and some nutritionals along the way. There's going to be food along the way as well, but you know, sometimes there's big lines of people purchasing that. But it's always good to have something with you to keep you going. And obviously with safety, yeah.
I was just going to say, I'll interject here a little bit. I did spend the first, I guess, full week of June on RAGBRAI pre-ride with my wife and the RAGBRAI officials, and I came away with that with some, I guess, some real, I guess I would just call it concerns. Southern Iowa, it doesn't come as any surprise, I know, to folks to just say straight up that it doesn't have the economic resources that we have been accustomed to in northern Iowa. And it's a long story, but it comes down to $1,500 an acre pasture land versus $10,000 an acre crop land. But there are just simply fewer churches and fewer Kiwanis clubs, and you know, the just overall you know, reduced infrastructure of civic organizations. And ultimately, it's actually a very beautiful ride. It's probably one of the prettiest rides that you'll ride of RAGBRAI. But and I'm going to say that you folks are at a bit of an advantage for two reasons. One, I'm gonna load Francisco up with plenty of nutritionals, and he'll have in the morning, you know, elixir tablets and electrolyte tablets to put in your water. There'll be plenty of, you know, we'll have plenty of Cliff Bars, plenty of healthy snacks to go with it that are part of the ride for you folks. And I'm going to encourage you to, you know, to grab 2 or 3 of those for the day, or whatever you think you need to get through the day. Obviously, we don't want you to waste stuff, but I don't want any of you folks to falter because of dehydration or lack of nutrition. And you know, we'll have shopped and have plenty of that on hand, and if we run out, we'll get more. The other advantage of being off-site in these pass-through towns, the end towns, the overnight towns, being off-site from those, these towns, quite frankly, are going to be overwhelmed with RAGBRAI in a way that we probably haven't seen in a long, long time. I have been in a town in 1981 that ran out of food, and it wasn't pretty. But you folks will be off-site to the extent that the restaurants aren't going to be overrun. The grocery stores, you know, if you need to do something like that, are not going to be overrun. And so I think you're at an advantage that way as well. I'll just kind of hand it back. Well, I'll talk a little bit about safety and ride right and communicating with other riders. For those of you that have been on RAGBRAI before, you know that there are certain times of the day where it can be absolutely jam-packed. I am going to encourage folks to use, we sell a set of mirrors called Sprint Tech mirrors, and I'm going to encourage folks to use both sets of mirrors, both a right and a left, because you're going to be on a heavily traveled, section of highway, and being able to see riders to your left and to your right is important. Communication in large group riding is absolutely the key. Calling out if you're stopping, if you're passing, announce your intentions, And you don't, I know a lot of times folks are apprehensive about yelling out what they're doing, and you don't have to do it in an unkind way, but people appreciate if you say, on your left, or right or off, right or on, doing all that communication, because they recognize that that's a way, to keep everybody safe. So just a couple of things on that. Ride, the ride right is always, if you can, ride to the right of the center line. I know that it gets super busy out there, and we end up taking on the whole road, but it's still a good mantra for safe riding, is to ride right unless you're passing. So, you might have any questions kind of on all that? All right. Francisco, I'm going to go ahead and let you carry on.
Yep, and so I just want to finalize what Craig mentioned, and even we're going to be loaded with nutritionals and power bars and power drinks, so definitely you have that available to you every day. And in terms of the food, in worst case scenario, I'll be waiting for you with some protein ready when you arrive. And if anything, like I say again, worst case scenario that someone needs to catch a ride to the campground, certainly you will have my number, you have my contact information, and we can make a run to get you in case if something major were to happen. So,
Francisco, the one thing that we can't do is if you're on the route, we are not able to come onto the bike route to come get you.
Exactly.
We can drop you at the meeting town, but you'll have to use the SAG wagon to get, if you're unable to ride, you'll have to use the SAG wagon to get to the overnight town, because the register prohibits us from being on the actual
Thank you, Craig.
route itself. I will go into a little bit about severe weather, since we've had some of that even today. The RAGBRAI officials go to great lengths to try to provide emergency shelters for folks, and obviously the situation is that they cannot communicate absolutely everything to everyone every time there is a severe weather broadcast. So we want, we'll do our part by keeping an eye on the weather and knowing, what's ahead. But we also, as an individual, as an adult, you have to keep an eye on the weather. And there's no shame in taking cover in a barn or in a big grove of trees if a big old Iowa thunderstorm rolls through. So you have to do what's absolutely best in your interest. And we always tell folks, we'll do the best we can with providing you the information we know about, but you have to you have to make your own safety decisions when it comes to that. So I just thought I'd throw that in there.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you, Craig. Yeah, in terms
I have one question.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
In terms of cellular coverage, does Verizon have a pretty strong coverage in Iowa?
Verizon's pretty good. So what happens is I like to joke with folks and say, just leave your cell phone at home because it will be of virtually no value. We overwhelm the service towers in any area that RAGBRAI goes through, and consequently, it really becomes very, very difficult to use your cell phone to make phone calls and or transmit data. That's another advantage of being off-site at night, is that being in a whole nother community, you're away from that large amount of traffic. But we generally will lose bandwidth. Sometime, well, we rely on bandwidth to process credit cards in the repair site and in the retail trailer. And on the repair site, we can be without bandwidth, virtually the whole day, anytime that the pack of riders is around us. And then the pass-through towns generally lose it mid-afternoon and don't get it back until RAGBRAI leaves. So unfortunately, you're going to be very, very limited on being able to get to get calls out.
Is there any other better solution to that? Is there anything that you could recommend that could? Because I'm probably on my phone a lot while I'm riding, and is there any way that's definitely going to be an issue for me? Is there any way to overcome that?
I would say that there's probably not. Local libraries do often have their internet open and available for folks to come in and do emails. We have had on occasion different communications companies come out and provide portable Lex, but honestly, I don't know of any that are slated for this year. I would say your best bet would be to stage those emails and data at night at the hotel for communication either the next day or for folks. It's just really, really tough. I won't tell you that it's impossible, but we just don't have the infrastructure for large capacity cell towers. So.
And like Craig mentioned earlier, the good thing is that we are going to be a few miles away from what most of the riders are going to be. So if there's anything that maybe taking care of your emails and messages in the morning, and then once you get back to the hotel, it certainly is more quieter. It's going to be quieter down there, and we will have access to all the electronic devices. The communication it's back. It's going to be back again. So that's what we also wanted to. It's good that we are actually a few miles away from where all these riders are. So in that way we can have access to more options for food, a little quieter time for sleep, and also more rest, and for some of the things that you were mentioning, like communication with the outer world. So we'll try to help you out with that too.
I'm going to have Kyle do this next part.
So when you get into the overnight town, there are going to be signs that are posted that look like this BTU arrow. You can follow those to our campsite, and then that's where Francisco will be to greet you. We do all of our staging for you guys out of the campsite. So you're going to leave your bicycles with us. We'll store them in the trailer overnight. That's where you're going to get dropped off in the morning. So follow these signs. Be aware that there are some other signs out there that look similar. The Bransel Charters, BBC signs look similar. So just because you see a blue arrow doesn't mean you should follow that one. Make sure you're finding the BTU signs. I was
going to say, for those of you that have not been on RAGBRAI, you're probably thinking, why wouldn't they choose a sign that hasn't been, that doesn't look like somebody else's? And that's because there's probably a couple hundred of these signs.
Yeah.
You'll find ours is pretty distinctive, though.
Yeah. Mostly it's a problem when people get really tired and they just look for a blue piece of paper. Yeah. I will post these probably every block, maybe every 2 blocks. So if you stop seeing signs, you probably got off the route and turn around. When in doubt, keep following the rider route. That is what I am going to try to use as much as possible. And then we will diverge off of it when it is most expedient. So I think it's a pretty easy system to follow. I will also send out some maps to you guys that'll have all of your routes. So you guys should know pretty well what the route map should be. Those should also be available via an app that we'll let you guys know about. It's a ride with GPS, so those maps will be posted on our.
They want to download those early.
Yeah,
before the ride.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Kyle is really good at putting those signs. Last year, we didn't have any problems whatsoever. I mean, they were pretty clear. Somehow he's so good that he finds a way to make those signs visible amidst hundreds of signs around it. So he hopefully you won't have to have any problem with that. So. Now, getting to the hotel, every day when you guys arrive after your trip, every day, and we are in the campground, you don't have to worry about your bikes. We have a specific location that we have people, and we have a specific location where they will stay overnight with no problem. So I know I got a question recently about locks. There's no need to purchase a lock for an overnight, to leave the bike overnight, because they're going to be well secured. However, if you guys feel comfortable bringing a small lock and put it when you are hanging out in the town, as you are passing through these towns, you're welcome to do so. But like I'm telling you, as I mentioned on my email, it's very rare that bikes are stolen in these passing through towns. So, it's just going to be after you, how comfortable you feel with that. The bikes will stay overnight. I'll take you back to your hotel. We'll bring you back at the next day, and the bike will be ready to go. We'll tell you that if there's any mechanical issue with your bike that you need to address before your ride, if you can let us know in advance, that'll be great, so I can find a way to, Craig and I can, talk about that and find the best solution to the problem on that. Every day, last year we had 2 shuttles leaving the campground. As you arrive into the overnight campground, every day we had 2 shuttles back to the hotels. This time we have 3:30 and 6 p.m. Certainly, that is just to start with. If depending on as the days go by, depending on our conversation. Again, we have such a small group of folks that you and I and Sean will be very well in contact to see if we need to modify some of these times. But to start with, we had 2 shuttles, 3:30 and 6 p.m. I know that last year we started with a certain time, and we ended up going back to the hotel, all of us, a little earlier. But it was because people were ready to go. So by any means, we'll be in touch with that. But at this time, let's shoot for that 3:30 p.m. and 6 p.m. Just kind of see how it works the first couple of days, and then during the conversation we can talk more about that.
Quick question on the bikes. Overnight, will they be stored in a dry place, or will they be kind of under the open air? And in the morning, will you guys have bicycle pumps available?
I actually sleep right next to your bicycles in a trailer.
Yeah, we actually have these guys. Kyle and his crew have enough room that they will be indoor. It will be in a trailer inside, so they will not be outside in case if it rains or anything like that. They'll be in undercover, so you won't have to worry about that.
We have built a special rack for inside our tractor trailer that they hang from, so that they're not being transported. They just are. That tractor trailer sits in one place overnight, so they're hung up and they're at the very back of the trailer, or very front of the trailer, if you will. So they're not in danger of being scratched or taken out errantly, I guess is what I would say.
And you guys obviously have bike pumps available in the morning?
Yes, sir. We have all that. We'll have all that ready in the morning. We have pumps, And like I said, if there's any mechanical issues that may arise through the day, if you just need you let me know. I'll definitely have conversations with Craig and find the best way to solve your problem. As the day go by. Yep.
Will there be a way to communicate with you during the ride? No, because of the cell service not being available.
I will say last year, each one of you will have my contact number, that is hard to tell, just like Craig just mentioned earlier. But last year we were always in contact with I was in contact with my riders through the day, and so just some of them just wanted to let me know that they were actually in some area of the campground that they didn't know how to come and find me, and we were able to communicate. But I'll say we'll definitely try the best way possible to keep that communication, the channels of communication open, whether it's with a phone call or whether it's through email. Obviously, if the system is overwhelmed, certainly email or messenger or Facebook will not work. Maybe a phone call might work, or text, but you'll definitely have my contact information, and we'll talk every morning. We will be in close communication every morning and arrival to kind of discuss and assess some of the situations that you encounter along the way.
And I'll throw out that there's obviously I've talked about how communication is impaired out there. The number one thing would be to ride to the campsite, which is signed, via the blue signs. We have another spot of communication, or a place to at least get a hold of us. Our bicycle shop is one of the 10 bicycle shops that is on the ride, and you can ask any town official where are if you're lost, or you need some reason you cannot find the campground, or what have you. You can locate the bicycle shops, and at the Bikes to You tent, the very first thing that Kyle does is, and of course we know ahead of time, but we know where the charter location is. So worst case scenario, after trying to locate it with the blue signs or the maps, is to find the Bikes to You bicycle shop, and we can accommodate you there. But I will tell you that there are certainly times when I don't hear from my wife all day long, because we're just in two different places, and phone service is not helpful. So let's see. We've kind of talked about a little bit about your itineraries, and I think Francisco can make sure that we've got all that done. You want to talk about, Kyle, signage from the DIP site?
Sure. So I will be posting signs from the DIP site. So what that means is, at the end of the ride, you're gonna have the opportunity to dip your front tire in the Mississippi River. If you don't want to wait in that line, basically ride to the DIP site, and when you're waiting in line, turn around, and you'll probably start to see the blue signs. The DIP site can get kind of jam-packed full of people, so we will be staying we'll be picking everybody up at the community college. I'm not exactly sure where at the community college. They've just told us that will be somewhere on the community college campus. So ride to the DIP site. If you don't want to dip, look for the blue signs. They may be behind you, and you can find our buses that way. We will send the first bus to be full will get sent once it is full. Yeah, that's right.
So, and actually we should have put vans in there. Your rendezvous point with Francisco will be at the community college. It's just there's too much chaos down by the DIP site. So just like always, you'll follow the signs back to the regular charter spot, and then Francisco and Sean will be there. Basically, our leave time is essentially 3 p.m. But so ignore the charter buses there. I should have put in passenger vans. But that your rendezvous the last day is going to be at the community college unless something changes. So.
Yes, not just to reemphasize that information, as long as you follow the blue signs that Kyle is going to be posting along, on each day on arrival, I'll be in the vicinity of that because we are usually close by. So as long as you get to where bikes to you, B2U campsite is, I should be in the vicinity of that. But well, like I said, we'll be in touch and communication, so you guys won't have any problem finding me. In terms of the departure, as I know that there's two couples who are going to be staying in Muscatine and flying out from Muscatine. Certainly, I'll make an arrangement to take them to their hotel after they arrive on that. But for the rest of you, some of you who are going through Grinnell and then from Grinnell on to Des Moines, we'll definitely make arrangements to get you to the place where you are going to be departing. So you don't have to worry about that. Again, since we have such a small group and Sean and I will be driving each a van, we'll have enough room for luggage and passengers in case if we need to accommodate people for a departure time, not on the charter bus but in our van. So as the days go by, we'll definitely be talking more about that. It will help to have your information on arrival and departure with us. So in that way, if you can just send it to me sometime, that'll be great.
I want to interject here. I just want to reemphasize that we do have the resources to get you to Des Moines or to the airport on Sunday. We can shuttle you to Des Moines on Saturday night if you have an early morning departure that your hotel has a shuttle. We certainly don't want you to have to rely on that. We actually deliver people to the Des Moines airport as early as 4 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. But we just ask that you not fly out on Saturday. It's, first of all, there's not that many flights leaving Des Moines on Saturday evening, if any, and more importantly, it's nearly impossible to get from the river to Des Moines to the airport on Saturday night. So if you have not already made your itinerary, please don't fly out on Saturday. And like I said, we have all the resources necessary to get folks to their departing site.
Yep. What if you've already had that booked? Should we cancel it?
You have a flight booked on Saturday night?
I'm flying out, Saturday at 5:30 from I guess what's the abbreviation for MLI?
Moline. That's Moline.
That's Moline.
I'm not certain.
Yeah, MLI is Moline, which is just north of Muscatine.
Yeah,
is that going to be impossible?
Yeah, that's doable. That's
doable. Yeah.
Yeah,
I am going to be, as I mentioned. I'm sorry, Craig. Sorry about that. As I mentioned, I am going to be delivering two couples to a hotel in Muscatine right after RAGBRAI. So it's possible once you and I talk about the times, it might be doable that I can take the couples to their hotel and then go and take you to the airport right after that. Along the way. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you send me your information, that'll be very helpful.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll do.
We'll make that work. Francisco?
Yeah. Do you guys have any specific questions? Like I say, I'm sure that more questions are going to arise, but I'll tell you one thing, guys. I mean, you definitely, it's going to be a great ride. You're going to have fun. It is very, exciting to be, right across the state of Iowa with us. I have no doubt you will enjoy this. And because we are such a small group, of 13 riders, and two of us, myself and Sean, will be your main support. It definitely gives room for conversations at all times, and on departure every morning, and on arrival every afternoon or evening. So just I have no doubt that we're gonna have a good week. Do you guys have any questions or any concerns or doubts?
All right.
No, I think we're good.
You've got,
Nope.
go ahead and, I'm sure you guys have got these in emails, but Francisco's phone number, Kyle's phone number, and both of their emails. You'll find me during the week in one of the pass-through towns every day under a blue Bikes to You tent, and I'll be fixing bicycles diligently, hopefully, taking care of folks that way. And feel free to obviously stop by and say hello, introduce yourself if we haven't met. I would like to meet all of you folks and hear how your week is going. Don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have a question about the route itself. If I can answer it, I certainly will. And thanks for joining us tonight. Hope it was informative for you.
Yeah, thank you guys. We appreciate the time, and as Craig mentioned, just feel free to call me directly on my phone or send me an email if something comes up between now and your arrival. You probably will get 1 or 2 emails from me within the next 2 weeks or so. But like I said, don't hesitate and ask any questions. There's just any doubts or concerns. I'm open. I'll be happy to assist you as much as I can on that. So thank you, and I'm definitely looking forward to meeting you in person. And so we'll have a good time.
Look forward to it.
We're
Thanks,
looking forward
guys.
to it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks a lot, you guys.
Thank you, Lean. Have a